Me too.
All right, let's get into it. Welcome, everybody. People keep on joining. I am Kevin Z. This is the top three for recovery with the Recovery Rockstars. Tonight, I have an awesome guest, Brandy Ledford. Brandy, hello.
Hi.
Okay, so it was just last Saturday, we did an epic podcast. I had so much fun talking with you, learning about your history. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you. You're a great interviewer. I love talking to you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. So for you guys who haven't seen or listened to, rather, the podcast, here's what you need to do. Go to recoveryrockstars.com, click on podcast, and check out the podcast. Or I think it's still up in my bio. You can click on it after this interview. You ready to get into this?
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into your top three for recovery, we need to give a little context here, a little history. So,
Okay.
Brandy, how long have you been sober now?
I have been sober for 6.5 years.
That is awesome. Now, I know we got into the podcast, but what were you struggling with? What were you addicted to? I know there's several things.
Say it again?
I know there's several things.
Well, I was struggling with alcohol mostly, and I was addicted to painkillers, and I was, I'd struggled with cocaine earlier. I spent a period of time, like 10 years, not drinking and not doing drugs after having drank a lot and did a lot of drugs in my younger years. And I spent 10 years dry, meaning I didn't work a program of recovery. I just, didn't lean on a higher power. I just didn't drink or use drugs, but I was still acting like an alcoholic. And so my main drug of choice is alcohol.
Yeah. And then I know you kind of went through the pain pills, you were doing the modeling, doing the acting. So again, guys, listen to the podcast. We got our full story there. This is just a short version, a very condensed version. But how did you finally get sober?
Well, I finally realized that I can't drink like a lady. And I was living this beautiful fairy tale life. I had so much love and support around me, but because I was an untreated alcoholic, and I had been drinking and using drugs and just, pain pills, I lost everything. I lost my fairy tale. And I hit rock bottom in a really sad way. And so I went to rehab. I went to rehab for 3 months. I went to a 12-step program for 3 months every day after that. And I continued to go daily, 2-3 times a week. I pray and I meditate. I read the big book. I read my Bible. I do an inventory. I have sober friends and sisters. And I work a program of recovery now that really helps me achieve serenity and sobriety.
So all these things are great, which is a perfect segue to our top three for recovery. So we're going to do this. Let's do it. So what are your top three things for recovery to either get sober, stay sober, or live a life filled with purpose and passion? Ready? Number one.
Okay. So there's an acronym for how. How do you get sober? It's honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And for me, I had to be really willing to concede to my innermost self that I'm an alcoholic, that I cannot have a glass of wine with dinner. I can't have a little cocaine. I can't abuse pain pills. I had to be very willing to be open and honest about that. And then be honest with others about how this disease affected my life, and be open to the possibility that my life could get better if I stopped drinking and abusing pain pills.
Love it. Love it. And you got honest, and you are open, and you were willing. And we're here.
Sometimes too honest, but I'm honest.
A little too honest.
I'm living a life of integrity today that I've never lived. So it feels good.
Love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Tip number 2.
Do anything you can to polish that serenity. Polish your sobriety, whatever it takes. If it means you need to go to a 12-step program, or you need to talk to your spouse or your parents or your partner, if you need to call someone sober, if you just need to vent on social media or reach out to someone, just do whatever it takes to polish your serenity.
Love it.
to really know that there's help. There's so much help available.
Yeah, yeah. And you doing this interview is help in itself. And I know that, so many people on the Recovery Rockstars are open to help, such as you. So you guys, please lean on Brandy and all of the community. What's that? Do not lean on me. No, never mind. And then number 3. What is number 3 for you?
A higher power. I couldn't do it without God. I choose to call my higher power God. And I believe that if you were willing to open up to the possibility of a power greater than yourself, you would have, beyond your wildest dreams, a life that you didn't think you would be able to live. You would have the spiritual experience that we have when you get to a place where you realize, I am powerless. I am so completely powerless. I have to turn my will and my life over to a higher power because I can't do this on my own.
Yeah.
And no matter how good life gets, no matter how bad life gets, just don't drink or use.
Good for you. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. So you guys, how can people find you on Instagram?
At Brandy Ledford.
And what is next for Brandy Ledford in this life of recovery? Living every day, savoring every moment, right? That key word, savor.
I'm savoring this right now. So right now I'm just in the here and now. I'm just going to live it one day at a time.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
Yeah.
Any other words of wisdom you want to share?
Say it again.
Any other words of wisdom you want to share?
Don't drink. There's help. No, that's not what I want to say. Reach out to someone. Honestly, everyone feels terminally unique. Everyone feels like they have this thing wrong with them, or they're struggling with this this problem or this issue, and everyone thinks they're alone, and everyone's feeling so alone. And there are people who feel the way you feel and who don't feel the way you feel. When people numb out, everyone's numb and depressed. There is somebody out there who will want to help you, and you could help them by sharing your story.
Absolutely.
So be more open, and if everyone could just stop pretending to be perfect and just be real and honest. And if you're struggling with this disease, I promise you, the life of sobriety is so much better than the life of being drunk or trying to figure out how you're going to get your next drink. For me, it's just made all the difference in my my happiness, my serenity, and my life to be sober. I've had the best life by being sober.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So to recap, number 1, how? Honest, open, willing. Number 2, do anything to polish your sobriety. And number 3, it's all about the higher power and reaching out and connecting and being honest and raw and real.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. You know how much time and energy you spend getting drinks and drugs? Just
shift it, pivot. Yeah. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for coming on and doing this live Instagram video. I want to thank you for sharing your insights. I want to thank you for being on the podcast. I'm going to plug it one more time. You guys go listen to our podcast. You'll hear Brandy's full story, her history with addiction, relationships, her acting, her modeling, everything. So check it out. And Brandy, you are a recovery rock star. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.